Pre-season preparations for Season 4 on MFL are done. And guys, I've not had as much fun playing MFL getting ready for a new season as I have this one versus my very first pre-season coming into the game. We've had a lot of stuff to do. We've been selling players, buying players, loaning players in, loaning players out, tweaking with the tactics, learning from the lessons we've had over the last couple of seasons. And in the video today, I'm going to show you everything I've been getting up to, as well as, some sneaky wee hints and tips that I might be using coming into Season 4 that maybe you guys could use as well. If you are brand new to MFL, it's a football manager network game where everyone you play against is another player just like me. It's got a controlled field, a controlled pool of players, which means you need to have an eye for talent. You need to really dig into the stats and select the correct players to bring into your club to give you a fighting chance in whatever division you're in. If you're looking to get started, or you're looking to play this game for yourself, there's a link in the description of this video and in the pinned comment that will get you a free player pack once you've bought your club license. Buying the club license is essentially like buying the game. You need to get a club to play with, and then off you go from there. If you are brand new and you're looking for beginner tutorials and all the rest of it, I'll link them in the description of the video as well as at the end of this video as well. But if you are going to play MFL, sincerely, please do by clicking on the link that's in the description of the videos here on the channel. It goes so far to helping me, the content here on the channel, and I'm forever thankful if you do so. If you do get stuck or if you've got any questions, jump into the comment section, of course, and I'll come and help you out. And as we get set for a massive Season 4 on MFL, where they've increased the prize pool by 40% and they've made some amazing quality of life adjustments in the game, this is going to be the biggest season they've ever had. They've been a great sponsor, a great support to the channel here. I just want to say thanks to them again for making a great game. Thanks for supporting the channel. It's been amazing to this point so far, and I can't wait to get stuck in with Season 4. But yeah, I'm really excited, guys. Let's just get stuck straight into this. Now, I think the best place to start is probably with the club agency as well, because you don't actually need to buy any players to play MFL. Every player can be loaned out for free. You just cut in the other man, whoever owns them, into whatever revenue your team is going to win. You just give them a little cut of what you might win by using their player, and you can get up and running. And for any MFL club, manager, agency, however you want to think of it, you will have more players eventually than you will come to use, and then getting those guys out on loan, selecting the terms and where they go is a fun process, and I've had a good time with doing that as well. But as you can see here at the top of the agency, we've got a really strong, really robust core FC Barcelona players of guys that we've seen over the last couple of seasons coming in, and we have some new faces that we'll walk you through as well, some of the new signings, why we've picked them up, and etc, etc. But we've actually now got a lot more players out on loan this season than what we have had before. The agency's got a little, I actually say the agency's got a bit smaller. I've sold a lot of players for actual money, but a big strategy that I had in Season 3 was everyone I couldn't get loaned out, I put into the development centre for one of three purposes. Number one, either they stay in the squad, they improve, and they can become a rotation part, or maybe even something better. Number two, they get a little bit better, which means I can sell them for a little bit more, or I can actually sell them if they were really that bad in the first place. Or number three, they become a little bit better, and then I can loan them out for a little bit more, or I can loan them out to a better team that might do something. And really, all of these players here on page have all benefited from that strategy itself. We've got some guys that are green now, what's this, uncommon? I forget the name of all the scarcities, but we've got a few greens that are out and about now in the agency that are out on loan. Like our boy here, Herman Zeller, who was actually playing for Barcelona last year as a backup player. He didn't actually make any progress last year on the overall statistics, but maybe made an improvement on some of the minor ones. And for him being 22 still, that's not a guy that I don't actually want to sell for money right now, because he could still get a little bit better. Similar to a lot of these other players, if they're under that 25 mark, I'm really looking to keep them and try and loan them out and develop them a bit more before I sell them. And with some of these guys, like you see Nico Gomez here, he's 29. We've got a guy here on Logar who's 28. If I can't sell them, they're better to be loaned out for the most part. Now over here where you see contract availability, that's just like the availability I've set on them. Individually, each one of these players has like a nice little bit of rev share percentages actually added onto them all already, which is lovely. If we scroll down, we'll see some other guys we've got out here out on loan as well in the Ice League. And the Ice League is really where I've got a lot of my loans here. There's still some guys that are in the development centre that I put in there for longer than one season. They're still on their way. Again, the majority of these guys are like young or younger goalkeepers, and I'm just looking forward to seeing how they progress and how they spit out. We've only got 4 players that are available left to be sold. They're all very cheap. 2 of them are $1, one of them is $3, one of them is $4, and I'm looking forward to having those guys finally be sold and move out. If I can't get them sold, or if I can't get them loaned out somewhere, again, very favourable terms on the agency here, I might throw all the guys that are 25 here, I might throw them all into development for this year if I can't get them sold or loaned out or anything like that, just to get them to progress a little bit this year, so that next season maybe they get loaned out. Maybe I can sell them, because right now I'm kind of struggling to do that. But we have 12 players out on loan in the Ice League, okay? So as an average on, between 3 and 6% a lot of these guys are on, we're actually going to have essentially a full Ice team worth of MFL come to us by the end of the season. And I know a lot of them will finish in different positions, and that means in different prize pool amounts. But the amount of players that we have out with decent percentages in that league, it's going to be really interesting to see how much MFL gets captured. MFL is the in-game currency from just these guys that have been loaned out, as well as how we do ourselves in the cup and the league and everything else. Now, with the MFL this year that we won, or from season 3 that we won, I bought a standard pack. So I got one of these. I didn't get a standard pack with 3 players. I got this uncommon. I got one of these packs here. I got one of them, and that gave us Yuguda Abba, which is a great fake name, and it gave me big kind of flashbacks. Do you remember those guys? I don't know if you've had them where you live, but in Glasgow when I was growing up, there was always like religious people in the streets, like with pamphlets and microphones and stuff like that. But there was these people who used to say Guranga, be happy, and it was a bit of a joke when I was in school. It was just a bit of a crazy mad monk people used to say Guranga all the time. But anyway, when I seen this guy's name, that was the first thing that came to my mind, was Guranga Abba, but his name is Yuguda, as in you cheese Abba. So Cameroonian, 6 foot, 25 years old, got a left peg, 80 for passing. Every other statistic is pretty minging, and this is a guy that just comes into rotation now at 69 rated. He can be a backup player for me. I was tempted to loan him out or sell him or whatever, but looking at the composition of the squad, he's just a nice cover player to have in and around the building, and it's a nice, would I call him a trophy? He's certainly a reward from the MFL we got last year, but he's a nice player. He's just come out the packet at 25, so we hope we can get some of his peak years now. Kind of. So we'll see how he does, and welcome to the club, Yuguda Abba. Now, I think I touched on bits of this in the last video, right? But the first kind of business I did this summer, or this off season, was I wanted to make sure that my second string was quite well built, because the problem we had in season 3 was that we didn't have enough cover to actually rotate and keep our best players fit, and I think that cost us the title ultimately. We still got promoted, which was great, but it would have been even better to go on and win it. And we picked up a Ignacio Catalan here, 6 foot right mid, who doesn't have any exceptional statistics, but he's a very good all-arounder, and it's 72 rated, 6 foot on the right wing, on right mid. For 6% rev share, it just felt like that was a decent little deal to get done, and we brought him in. Now, I tried to bring in a backup striker that Nepenthez had, who was 75 rated as well, and I even sent him a wee message like, hey Nep, I'm after this guy, I've gave you all the deal you wanted, and he ended up giving him someone else who I don't think is in higher league as me, so I don't know if there was some cross wires there or whatever, but I was pretty gutted by that. I thought I'd done a good bit of scouting. We found a manager, another agent that we could link up with and maybe get a wee cheeky deal in, because when I've been analysing my rejections over the last couple of seasons, there's not always a real reason for why did my offer get rejected. I was given more rev share, I'm in a better division, and sometimes it's like, oh well, people loan people to mates and whatever, and I tried my best, but couldn't get it done even with one of my pals. But we got Douglas Prado to come in instead. He'll be our backup striker for this year, and him along with Nep's guy, they're very similar to the level that Lecoq has, so they're not just going to be a backup striker, but they will also be a rotation piece where maybe sometimes they'll come in for Nasser, sometimes they'll come in for Lecoq, without me totally rotating the side. I maybe just freshen the legs up. And having a guy like this at 75 rated, the main statistic for me is shooting, because I just want to make sure if he's in the box, he's just going to be burying his chances. Pace, dribbling and passing are all important as well, but shooting was the one I put the most effort on. And for a guy like this, we're giving away 8% on rev share, which again I don't mind for a clinical striker from Big Wilbert. Our big signing that we made, and we've already announced, I'll just recap real quickly, is we brought in Egyptian superstar Tito Hosni from Bald Sherlock, and already in the friendlies we've played, the link up between the Egyptian Hosni and the Egyptian Nasser is on point, by the way. This is going to be a partnership that's going to flourish. I'm really excited to see how much we can progress Bald Sherlock's player at one season at FC Barcelona. He's 77 rated. He's one of the best players in the squad. He has 84 passing, 85 dribbling. The rest of the stats are a bit meh, but he's 6 foot tall, got a left peg on him. And again, Bald Sherlock, friend of the community, friend of the channel, friend of the club. We gave him a chunky 10% on this because he will play every game for me. He'll be a key component of this. And I'd love Bald Sherlock to get a better player at the end of season 4, and I'd love him to get a nice wee chunky bit of rev on this one. So Tito Hosney hit the ground running, firmly integrated into the squad. And now when I look at the full rotated team, we've got actually like a decent outfit here overall. We'll walk through some more of the players that we've not spoke about just yet because we have some winners and some beneficiaries from the development centre and whatever in here as well. But this is a squad I'm really comfortable, really confident in rotating for the cup games, or if I know I'm playing bottom of the league, maybe there's a chance that this team can get the job done, essentially. So lots of options here to rotate individually, player by player, match to match, as well as having a full 11 to rotate in and out. Slightly different tactics, but I don't mind that. As well as now a best 11, a starting 11, our first team feels like it's really leveled up. Now, there's a few players that are on this page here I've not walked you through that we've been out and bought, and another one that we've contracted in. But before I get to that, I was doing friendlies. I was playing all the friendlies that I could. I was trying to get some good matches against some difficult opponents. And sometimes when you do the random one, you get weaker opponents. I was rotating between doing friendly matches with my backup team as well as my primary team. And one thing that was quite stark to me, especially when I came against better opponents, is that Big Florek, as much as I love him, he's probably going to hold me back quite a bit here goalkeeper-wise. A goalkeeper at 71 rated. If you remember the last division we were in, there was 2 or 3 goalkeepers that were better than him, and one player, the guy that won the league, had a goalkeeper that was the best in the division by a long distance, and his defensive record really showed that. So it was the last bit of business I had kind of in my mind coming out of the friendlies before coming to record this video today, and I went out and I got a Sondre Ritan, 6 foot, 23-year-old Norwegian goalkeeper, big Viking of a guy, 77 rated. This guy had an auto-accept contract, and there was a few players around his level that all wanted similar terms. One of the goalkeepers was also Norwegian. He had a really funny name. His name was like Odd Ahmed or something. He was 6 foot, and there was another guy that was like the same, but he was like 5'10" or whatever. So we've had to really push the boat out to make this one happen. A goalkeeper of this level was always going to cost me a lot of MFL. I've given away 12% guaranteed, and there'll be an extra 5% if he doesn't play. I think it's 15 or 20 games, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. I'll make sure he gets it. But this guy is a Golden Glove winner already from Season 2 in the Stone League. And really, since then, he's not made any progression. I would love to see this guy actually progress at my squad this season, but at the very least, a 77 rated goalkeeper. The friendlies I've played since getting this guy in, it feels like he's made my whole defence better. My defence statistics are kind of good, right? With Bodnarenko in at left back, who was one of our star centre mids last year, 81 pace, 71 defending, 75 physical, and 78 passing. He's a very good left back, but he's only 71 rated, and I was feeling between him, Wagner, and his kind of lack of pace, and he's kind of reaching his peak years and whatever, along with our other defensive recruit, a new signing, a player we bought, a first purchase that we've made that we've shown in this video, into centre back. He is only rated 70, right? But this guy's got 82 pace, 78 defence, physical's not that great, passing and dribbling or whatever, right? A full back that can play defence without a handicap. If we look at mflplayer.info, one of my favourite sites to use to kind of scout and all the rest of it, he plays both positions just as well. There's no difference, there's no upgrade sadly for playing at centre back, there's no handicap, but despite his primary position being right wing back. So for this pace and defensive statistic, as well as me playing up a level, I'm hopeful he can get some progression actually under his belt. Because at 26, he's definitely had some good progression in him already. As we can see, he started off as a 65 rated player, and he's now ended up at 70. So I'm quite hopeful he can continue to progress, being in a better squad, being in a better league. And some of these statistics that are, like, I'd love defence to get up to 80. I'd love the physical to break into the 60s. Everything else is a bit inconsequential. It's really that pace I wanted to add in here. But by Ritan coming in here, it just felt like the whole defence all of a sudden got a lot better. The main hole that we had, but because on the last video we spoke about some of these bits and pieces, but the main hole that we had was a starting first choice centre defensive midfielder, and we own Hans-Peter Hank the Tank. He is a centre defensive midfielder with 73 pace, 75 defence, 80 physical, and 73 passing. Very good defensive midfielder, kind of sweeper in the midfield area, and it feels now that this best 11 is very well rounded. We are now looking quite closely at the likes of Tolentino, of Mooney, and I guess the rest of the guys that are rated below 74, I suppose, we're looking at them and thinking, will they still be useful? Will they still be handy in this division? I've bought a lot of players. I'll just look at this rotation thing again one more time, because one of the players that we've bought a few players for the backup. We bought Kasper Mikkelsen to play right wing back. Again, very good statistics. He's 30. I'm not expecting any progression from him. I'm just expecting no mistakes, good professional performances whenever he's called upon, whenever we rotate. And then I also brought in Marlon Poveda, who is 27. Again, because of this age, I'm not expecting too much progression. I'm just expecting a good old job from him. He's 6'3". He's got 81 for pace and 72 for shooting, 71 passing. And he plays with left mid. He's got white hair. He's Colombian. It feels like he's going to be a bit of a hero for the backups. At 65 rated, he's started off as a 63. He's had some progression. Could we get him to progress a little bit more? Let's watch and find out. And at only 14 quid, I think the last guy's done well to double his money on him, so well done to you. But I'm quite confident we could make money on this deal if we only held him for one season, or if we don't need him after this year, he'll be a very valuable player to loan out, especially with that pace and finishing he's got from wide. Very good statistics to have for a left mid. And Jorg Steffens is the only other one in the backup team we've not mentioned in this video. We did mention him in the last one because he's a player we put into development as a 66 rated player. No, he's 66 now. We put him into development last year at 65 and he went up to 64. So he improved a little bit, which is fine. But the beautiful thing about him is a right mid / cam is he actually goes up +3 for playing in attacking midfield. And that is a lovely little detail that we found in the club. We managed to maximise it in development last year. And I'm hoping for this year he can maybe progress into being a 70 rated player, either just by the cheat code +3 thing in the other position. He just improves a little bit. But this is a player that we're first owner of. He's only 21. I could see him being the future attacking mid for FC Barcelona if he really, grabs the opportunity here with both hands and really makes it his own. And with the upgrade we made to the goalkeeper, with the upgrade we made in defence as well, this backup team has Florek in goal, has Kaiser at centre back, has Will in at defensive midfielder, has some guys that have been really strong servants to the club that I'm not ready to move on from yet, that I still think have got an important chapter to write in FC Barcelona's history. But like I mentioned, guys, we did a lot of buying and selling on the market. Now, overall, with the players I bought or got in packs and all the rest of it, all these common players, if we scroll all the way back to, we bought these guys in for season 3. So from this point here, when the Penfez buys our $1 Quintero, we have sold $84 worth of players, and some of them have been very cheap, some of them have been okay, some of them were a wee bit gutted I sold him. He was quite fun and maybe he might get better, but ultimately that $84 worth of sales funded $96 worth of purchases for the players we featured in the video today. Poveda, of course, Hank the Tank at 34, Faustino at 28, Mikkelsen at 20, and really all of these tertiary kind of backup players that, I could have loaned all of them out probably and got some MFL. I might not have needed to sell them all. Maybe I could have held on to one or two of them, but these lower rated players rolled up and snowballed into a couple of really high quality players have really made a big difference, I think, to my best 11, my earning potential for this year. And like I mentioned earlier already, we've got enough players out on loan where we're still going to have our cake and eat it. We're still going to have a really strong squad. We're still going to have a really strong agency, and we've still got players in the development centre. We've still got players on the market. There's still a lot of stuff to be done. And that brings my net spend on players the whole time I've been playing MFL, like players I've bought from the market, to $244, and we've raised 84 of that back. So I'm actually quite happy with our actual trading model, our actual buys and sells, and I'm hopeful I can bridge more of that deficit, which is $160. I'd like to sell another $160 worth of players between, this is season 4, so by the end of season 5, I would like the club to be in that kind of break-even position where we've maybe turned some players from being prospects into players, maybe loaned them out, had our cake and eaten it with some MFL. But if I do get promoted again, there will be some of these players we can maybe sell and look to compound and roll in to better quality players yet again for season 5, so on and so forth. So I'm really enjoying the development side of the game, the tactics that we're developing, the squad management, every aspect of the agency, loaning players in and out, selling, buying players and all the rest of it, and really managing everything that's going on here. I really can't wait to get stuck in with season 4. I think it's going to be an exciting one. And with the quality of squad that we've got, honestly, like, I just get so excited looking at this. I cannot wait. Do we have the fixtures in yet? No, we don't. But this is the last chance to register at a point of recording. It feels like FC Barcelona is going to go on and tackle, what league is it winning now? Iron. It feels like we're really going to be the Iron Brew, the Iron Man team in this division. Maybe we're underestimating it a little bit, but I do feel that this squad is good enough. We've got all the right statistics in the right positions. We know our tactics well enough. And some of these players now, a few of the guys, the better ones, have been saying they've been playing at too low of a level. We've now broke into a decent level, I think, for a lot of these players' standards and standings. And this could be a really transformative season. We could see some of these players really level up, or maybe even fall by the wayside altogether. But make sure to check all of your players in your agency on on mflplayer.info and try and find if you got a wee Jorg Steffens, if you got a wee guy that can play in a slightly different position. Now, I will say on that note as well, by the way, that Bodnarenko, who we signed last year, he was a 71 rated left back. We played him in centre mid and he was absolutely freaking amazing in there. But he gets a -7 handicap for playing in centre mid, and I don't really feel that really held him back too much, to be quite honest with you. I think as long as they've got Green in the position, they will synergise. Their chemistry will be good enough in that role anyway, and then it's down to their statistics for how valuable those statistics are in that position. So although the Jorg Steffens, the players that get an upgrade on playing in a different position, is lovely, as long as it's Green, I wouldn't really worry too much about the point handicap that you get, as long as you're really confident on the raw statistics, on the raw score that the player does bring in. And the last thing I'll just underline and remind you of is, do not underestimate the importance of a quality goalkeeper. I'm not, and I think it's going to make a big difference to my year, this one. I can't wait to see the comments from you guys. I'm really excited to see, have you got any of my players on loan? Are you after one or two of the players that are still available? Are you going to try and bring them in? What have you done to get ready for Season 4? Have you tried something different? Have you changed your tactics? Have you brought in a whole host of new players? Have you bought some players? What have you been up to? Let me know in the comment section down below, because Season 4 is going to be a ton of fun, not just for me, but I'm sure for all of you guys as well. On screen and now some other stuff that I've made that YouTube thinks you might enjoy. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this, and stay tuned as well, so we'll probably have some live streams going on of Season 4 and some games and some cups and all the rest of it as it unfolds. Stay out of trouble, and I'll catch you on the next one.